Hello and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. In this episode we have a black dog making a mess, an invader Top Gun Steel Wall Conqueror, and an invisible defender. Roll intro! First we go to the North American region with Bob 40,000, who's fighting a standard battle on Muravanka. This black dog is the best tier 8 light in the game after all the changes, so let's see how it can operate in a tough tier 10 matchup. The Eastern Forest is a great place to use this light's camo and gun depression. Even side on, the mouse is a tough nut to crack, but keep trying and eventually one does go in. This ISU, however, is much more attractive. But we must be careful, as the enemy's light tanks are still in hiding. Looks like the team is in trouble as enemies try to cross the ridges. But even if it's difficult to lay down effective fire, the enemies are likely shaken. This Conqueror is distracted. Time to move in. Charge! Watching these Hesh rounds pen almost makes me feel bad for this Conk. Until I see all that damage. Burn, baby, burn! That was an almost full HP Conk in just 4 pens. But that's not enough. Bob wants more, and this spotted Scorp is just the thing. Followed by a juicy, big-booty British tortoise. Bob's teammate gets wrecked by the FV. Revenge is needed. Nom nom nom. Eek, a brave Eve position is in order as this bat has ruined all the fun. You're next on the hit list, buddy. Just you wait. After some patient driving, Bob spots the bat, and it's trying to shoot at allies. Count the shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's all 5. Go, go, go. You can run, but you cannot hide, Batchat. 7,000 damage in close quarters in a bulldog. That's no easy feat. And the 2,000 base XP tells us just that. Crucial? More like carry contribution. Well played, Bob 40,000. Sticking with the North American region for now, we meet Ceres 1 in their SU-12244. This TD has been neglected in recent years, but that takes nothing away from its raw damage dealing potential. Instead of camping for the whole battle, Ceres heads to the hill, often the deciding factor for an encounter on fiery salient. The first enemies are spotted in the middle, and this hill position provides adequate flank shots. This TD has unnerfed old-school camo values, so spotting through this thin ridge of bushes yields a great result. Even firing does not reveal Ceres' position. If only the penetration wasn't so ineffective against these heavy tanks. However, I'd be more cautious with the ammo in this Soviet TD. I'm often running out in battle. What if you can't pen? Spot! This IS's side is a much more powerful target than that T-32. It's like the floodgates have opened for damage here on the cap. You couldn't dream up a better situation for this Russian DPM machine. Boom party! Ceres managed to go from 800 damage to 3.7 thousand in just over a minute, but there's more to be done as allied numbers dwindle. Expert use of the bushes here keeps the Leo at bay. When was the last time this beast was spotted, I wonder? This should be the Ninja Award. This WZ is the biggest threat at the moment, but the shots aren't presenting themselves. The 2 British TDs are dead in the water as the enemy team swarms forward. All that can be done from the hill is provide occasional shots through the buildings. Some careless shooting leaves the Scorpion alive. It also leaves the ammo empty, save for some HE rounds. With 5 enemies remaining and the cap trundling forward, victory is impossible. The Leo from the hill is the one to strike the final nail in the coffin. Good uses of camo and spotting in this relic of a TD. But this should be a lesson to all of us that you need every skill to turn the tide of war. Good try, Ceres. We venture now to the EU region with Levielisa pick on Lakeville. The Conqueror in a 3-5-7 top tier match is a force to be reckoned with, even more so in an engagement over a ridgeline. With only a single RT, the 2-line is actually a good position to push as a top tier heavy like the Conqueror. These meds don't fancy their chances peaking anymore once they've seen this beast trundling forward. As I thought, this damage farm is almost comically easy. That Jagdpanther has had enough and backs off. However, the rest of their team hasn't got the message yet. Let's hammer it home some more. Nice clip, Skoda? Okay. With one of the 3 tier 9s out of the way, it's time to mop up the last of this opposition. Status check. 5 minutes gone, 7 enemies left, and oh crap, only 11 shells left. I know the Conk starts off a bit short of shells, but this battle has been ridiculous. These 2 TDs shouldn't pose much of a problem. Artie, on the other hand... Sitting and getting clicked won't help anything, so pushing and taking out these TDs is the best play to make. Rip through, and the medkit is still on cooldown. Great. Not much happens until the commander is able to be patched up and put back in action. Now it's time to draw in the remaining enemies with a cap. The enemy WZ has made it back with ample time to reset. I can't see this ending good. A stroke of luck. For some unknown reason, this WZ charges forwards and allows himself to be face-hugged. Maybe there's a chance. Or maybe not. This WZ seems to be having similar problems. This duel screams, "I'm panicking!" Oh wait, that's a Hesh. There's the low ammo count of the Conk coming back to bite our hero. It's all over. The Alidati took a justified risky shot, but the T-25, they did it, leaving our hero with 54 HP and a solitary Hesh rep. And I've got a good idea who that will be for. Sweet, sweet revenge. Although if Levielisa pick waited just a few seconds more, it would have been a faded. Great pressure on the enemy team throughout the whole battle. They didn't get a moment's rest from this week's invader, Levielisa pick. What a battle. Sticking with the EU region, we drop down a few tiers to a Redshield 510 encounter. Taking us on a tour will be Excitex, who is on a quest for their 3rd mark. This Type 64 is a monster when paired against its own tier, and Redshield also offers lots of bushes and ridges to utilize the excellent camo of this little Chinese scout. This aggressive bush offers perfect spotting opportunities on the enemy's main ridgeline. Surprise, EOC! You certainly didn't expect to be taking shots there, did you? A Churchill 3 side is too juicy to pass up. Trying to passive scout MT25? Pay the price for sitting exposed for too long. Burn, baby, burn. The fire eats away this Churchill's health like candy, and a quick calculation tells our hero that there's no need to stay exposed. The flames finish the job. 2 revenge shots from these enemies leave the little Type 64 on half HP. Revenge is swift, but it proves mistakes are instant in this machine. Abusing the terrain quickly shuts this Panzer forward down. Although this ridge is a good place to shoot from, it's exposed when the flanks around it are lost, and that shot in the rear is a good reminder. The Churchill and a T-3485M, Excitex is surrounded. Keep calm. An exchange of shots leaves Excite with just 14 hit points. Thankfully, the T-3485M is dealt with by an ally. After a quick loop around the middle of the map, Excitex finds themselves right back under the bridge where they started. Surrounded on 3 sides, perhaps the river can provide the means of escape. Take every opportunity to do damage, then move! Notice it's 1 versus 6 now? Rapidly altering our location is the best way to keep the enemy team scattered. Don't get distracted. Use the clock, Excite. Found you, Hellcat. 1 shot, 1 kill. Some of the wiser Reds have caught on and started a cap, but not all. 3 others have continued their hunt. Good shot. Not so good, but this stir fluffed their shot. Pop! And this T-67 loses its nerve and doesn't just YOLO. Then loses the duel. There's just over a minute left on the cap. Luckily it's an encounter, else that cap would have been a bigger problem. There's 1. What a reset. Location, 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 as they say. And there's 2. Well, likely thought the battle was won and went AFK. 1 versus 1. and 2 minutes on the clock. There it is, and a beautiful pen puts the Churchill down to 1 shot. Oh, it went to cap, did it? Interesting choice. Relocate once more, and that's game. Well done, Excitix. A 1v6 is never an easy thing to do, but you did it without missing a step. Achieving your 3rd mark and a Kalabanov's hopefully makes our Defender award a little bit sweeter. We have arrived at the pinnacle of the show. Elite Soldier 972 has volunteered to be our star from the North American region. This Maushan is seldom spotted on the battlefield, despite being a recent introduction. Its gun and armor are not spectacular, and it struggles at range. However, Elite Soldier is going to prove to us that the Maushan cannot be overlooked on a map such as Airfield. Much of the fighting in the standard heavy area actually favours this type of tank. Right away we get a good example of what not to do. That's not how you beat Carnarvon. Down boy! Okay, a bit of a strange start, but free damage is always nice, Victoria. Whilst love tapping the Type 59, a Jagdtiger 88 blinks away at the Maushan's armor to no avail. This Type 59 really doesn't give up. Hey 75, eyes on me! A pen? Wait, 21 damage from that base sniper? This Jagdtiger 88 really is throwing all it has at Elite Soldier this battle. The Type 59 is rewarded for its persistence with a penetration at last. And now Arty has found its mark and joins the barrage from the Jagdtiger 88. Track gone and crew stunned. We're going nowhere fast. Finally, the track is up long enough to destroy the pesky Type 59. And why not this T-54 while we're at it? That E-75's death marks the end of the flank. Good job, everyone. No. Middle is lost, and the enemies have now swarmed up the center road, so our hero must turn to engage. IT-32, forget about the Jagdtiger 88. Even from the rear it can't do anything. Yeah, never mind that last comment. It's time to retreat to the safety of the balcony. Where is that TD anyway? There! Good job, IS-6. Oh, and the Arty. Very good job, IS-6. Hello there, Defender, if you insist. This T-28 prototype was a bit too eager and got slapped for its trouble. A nicely placed hatch snipe reduces the most dangerous tank on the enemy team to a smoking wreck. The only ally that remains is an Arty, and Elite Soldier is surrounded. Surprise, IS-6! Oh, and the Jagdtiger. I'm going to enjoy this. Good night, sweet Jagdtiger. Good night. Please form a neat line in front of the Maushan and you'll be killed in an orderly fashion. Thank you. After such a massacre, the IS-6 freezes in terror. 10 kills. Now it's time to hunt this VKP and end this. On the 2-minute warning and not the most optimal position to engage from, let the final showdown commence. Through the mantlet. Now that's just showing off. This VK hasn't realized that their tank is longer than it is wide and is sidewards on, not advisable. I tip my hat to you, Elite Soldier, for that monster of a carry. More than 2,000 base XP in a tier 9 is a rare sight to see. Never mind the 11 kills and the Kalabanos to accompany it. That certainly was the best replay of the week. That's all for this week. Remember, some weeks we get better replays than others, and if you think you got a better one, well, send it in. I'm Luke Neller, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.